We are now getting ready to take the field. Sunset is playing at home, and Trondheim will take the hit first. We have Kuhl starting on the mound.
So we're moments away from first pitch in the second semifinal match of the day between the Hellhounds from Trondheim and the host of this arrangement, the Kristiansand Suns. My name is Alex Guilford. I'm here with Henrik Andersen, and we will be your play-by-play commentators for today's game. Just to highlight the defense for Kristiansand Suns, we've got Andrew Keel on the mound. Behind the plate is Mark Cherenkov. At first base, we have Dave Beal. Second base, we have Neftali Gonzalez. Javier Alvarez will be playing shortstop. Benjamin Davis will be playing third base. The outfield lines up going from left to right. We've got Jonathan Whistler in left field, Charles Conrad playing center, and Magnus Johnson in right field.
We have Håkon Norley stepping up. It's the first hitter, leading off. Ball low. Swinging strike. Count is 1-1.
That's a good pitch there. Guy like Håkon, he's not afraid to get up there and take some pitches, so you got to really attack the strike zone.
Fouling off. A 1-2 count. Has to protect. Sweet. Caught looking on a strike.
Yeah, that's that. That was that good breaking ball from Keel right there. It's a pitch that he's going to repeatedly go to if he wants to be successful today.
Hit the second. Easy ground out for Sun's second baseman.
So in an interesting development, Bendik will be playing shortstop today, which is rather uncommon for a somebody who throws left-handed.
Yes, indeed. Hit by pitch on Bendik Johansen. And we have Mathis Fukachi stepping up to the plate.
So in an unfortunate sequence of events for Trondheim, they've lost one of their key players to a torn ACL. Mike Snyder is he's been a really good, or he's put up really good performances for Trondheim this year, but We wish Mike the best in his recovery, and hope to see him on the field soon.
Yes, indeed. Bendik is stealing from first to second.
What do we think about this matchup today, Henrik?
I think it will be a good matchup. Have to see what how TOs will work out on the mound. But I think it will be a close game. Good stop from Mark. Nice fastball.
Runs the count to 3-1 here. Good hitter's count for Matisse. Let's see if he can do some damage here.
Matisse is walked down to first base. Not 3 on count. Martin Allison is up to bat. High fastball, called strike. Falling off on a 1-0-1 count.
Ooh, just missed there. Really good fastball from Andrew right there. Really good location for an 0-2 pitch. Another hit by pitch extends the inning for Trondheim. Bases are now loaded with the team leader for the Hellhounds stepping to the plate, Alec Warmers.
Kristiansand in a spot for a double play here, potentially. 2 outs, my bad. Fouling off here. See if Alec Wormers here can do some damage.
Oh, some potential chaos right there with a drop strike 3. But Mark Cherenkov stays composed and steps on home plate to record the final out. For those of you who are perhaps new to the sport, in certain situations for strike 3, if the ball is dropped by the catcher, the base runner still has the ability to try to run to first base. And in that specific situation, because there were 2 outs, the catcher has the capability of securing the baseball and stepping on home plate to record the final out, as there were base runners occupying every base. So the hitter therefore has nowhere to go, and the other people have to try to advance accordingly.
Here we have Theo.
We are back here in the bottom of the first inning. Kristiansand was able to escape a bases-loaded jam. Just want to remind everybody that the comments section is being monitored, so if you have questions, feel free to comment there.
Here we have Charles Conrad leading off for the Suns, and Torgersen, who is starting pitcher for Trondheim.
So for those of you who are familiar with Norwegian baseball, you may be thinking to yourself that Charles Conrad plays for a different team, and you are correct. But here in Norway, we have a rule that allows for players under the age of 23 to be borrowed by other teams in certain situations. And the main objective of that rule is to maximize playing time for younger players, which is something that we really try to embody and believe in as an organization.
Charles Conrad walked to first base as a leading off, and here we have Andrew Kuhl stepping up in the box.
Osvik's having a little trouble finding the strike zone here early. Hopefully he can get back into the zone. Runner takes off and is into to second base with a stand-up stolen base. There wasn't really much resistance on that one, was there, Henrik?
No, a little fumble from the catcher on a low pitch.
Really good jump by Conrad there as well.
Yeah.
Nice breaking ball, finds the zone there to run the count to 2 balls and 1 strike.
Go.
A little fumble at shortstop from Bendik here. Playing in a bit unusual position, if you can say that, Alex.
Yeah, as I mentioned earlier, Bendik being left-handed will put him at a disadvantage defensively when it comes to the angles of the throws he has to make. There's a much higher degree of difficulty with him playing shortstop as a left-handed player versus a right-handed player playing that position.
Yeah.
Nice fastball in there to get ahead. That ball drops in there, and Charles Conrad will score easily to put the Suns ahead 1-0. Andrew Keel kind of got caught there in no man's land because he was stealing on the pitch, and as soon as that ball was hit into the air, he had to stop and wait to see if that ball would drop. Because if he's running to second base and the outfielder catches the ball, they're going to have a pretty easy double play in that situation.
Yes, indeed.
Breaking ball misses just inside there. Fastball misses low to run the count to 2-0. I don't know about you, Henrik, but it seems that the key to success for Trondheim here is going to be the ability to throw strikes and the ability to play clean defense behind him.
Yes, for sure. Just have to get back to like hitting the zone and let the ball do the work.
Yeah. Sometimes a good mental reset is needed. That's a 4-pitch walk to David Beal, which will load up the bases for Benjamin Davis, who's a really gifted young player down here in Kristiansand. He attends the Academia, where he's has a heightened focus on baseball activities. So it's really great to see that he's taken advantage of his opportunities.
Yeah, he has really taken a big step.
Catcher wants to have a short discussion with his pitcher. Hopefully get things trending in the right direction again. I think that's a good move by the catcher there.
Yeah, just calmly get this gets T.O. back in the zone. Good outside pitch there. Just misses.
It's another 4-pitch walk will push a second run across for Kristiansand. I believe that we are going to see a pitching change here. We will indeed see a pitching change here. It looks like the right fielder, Alec Varmers, will take over on the mound, and the starting pitcher, Torgeir Osvik, will replace him in right field.
I believe we do see a straight change here.
So Alec, I would say Alec is probably Trondheim's most dependable arm, at least in the amount of time that I've been involved with Norwegian baseball. He's thrown at minimum one game of each doubleheader every weekend that they've played, sometimes in both games.
Yeah.
So he logs a lot of innings, and He's oftentimes very, very competitive in the strike zone and throws a lot of strikes. So it'll be interesting to see how he navigates in this tough situation here with bases loaded and still nobody out with 2 runs already across.
Yeah, and he can go the entire game if he needs to.
Jonathan Whistler steps up to the plate. Decent breaking ball there from Alec. I'm not quite sure where it missed.
Fouling off. It's now 1-1 count.
Ball squirts past the catcher, and another run will score. The pitch was tough to handle for Peruta behind the plate. Henrik, you're a catcher. How is it trying to block a curveball?
It's really hard if you come around the ball and keep the ball in front of you, and it's easy to when it's the thing that you saw that the ball went to the backstop, and then things happens like that. So it's really important, especially to keep the ball in front, make the job a lot easier for yourself.
That pitch misses there, runs the count full to 3 balls and 2 strikes. But yeah, it seems like if you're trying to block a curveball, that ball is not going to bounce in the direction that you think it's going to bounce. The spin on the baseball will actually cause it to bounce in the opposite direction of the way that you would think, right?
Yeah. Especially curveballs and sometimes sliders as well. Foul ball.
Long foul ball there from Magnus Johnson. Puts him down in a hole, no balls and 2 strikes. Magnus is the son of the Suns coach Andy, and is a really, really gifted young baseball player. Oh, beautiful 1-2-3 double play from Trondheim there. That was much, much needed.
Put them in a very good position and not letting any runs in.
Trondheim was desperate for that play right there. So now we have runners on second and third with 2 outs now, as Trondheim was able to get 2 outs in 1 play on the previous ball. Brings Neftali Gonzalez to the plate. Neftali is another one of the batch of really good young baseball players that they have down here in Kristiansand.
Looks like a good curveball from Alec.
Bit of a strategic pitch there from Alec. Let's see if he goes back to that breaking ball here. He does, and it misses low to run the count to 2 balls and 2 strikes. What pitch do you think is coming, Henrik?
Another curveball. Nice fastball. Ends inning.
Alec does a good job there of keeping us commentators even guessing.
Yes, indeed.
Back here in the top of the second, Suns now lead 3-0. First pitch strike from Andrew Keel to Nicole Fett. Another good pitch there from Keel.
Very aggressive from the start here.
And that is about as efficient as you can be. 3-pitch strikeout for the first out of the inning.
Do you think Alex Q will be able to go the entire end of the game?
I do. Judging from some of the performances that he's already turned in over the course of the season, let's just say that he's not afraid to throw a lot of pitches. We can put it that way. But we'll see how efficient he can be here in the second inning. He ran into some trouble in the first inning, but was able to wiggle out of it with a minimal number of pitches. So pretty good breaking ball there, just misses low.
Really good take.
So Trondheim was able to secure their spot in this year's playoffs on the last day of the season. There was a group of 3 teams that were neck and neck for the final playoff spot, and Trondheim was able to get some wins that they needed as Peruta pops out to the shortstop Alvarez for the second out of the inning. And if I recall correctly, they needed to get minimum 1 win and then needed help from another club to secure their playoff spot. Am I remembering that correctly?
Yes, you are, Alex. They really made a huge win in the end of the season.
So a little bit of background. Our Elite Series baseball competition is split into 2 divisions, the East Division and the West Division. So that pitch is fouled off by Osvik to run the count to 1 ball and 1 strike. A couple years ago when COVID hit, we were looking for ways to minimize travel for our clubs as travel expenses are quite high, especially for a team like Trondheim. So we split into 2 different divisions and adopted a playoff model. So in our Western Division, we have Kristiansand, Stavanger, and Bergen. Swing and miss there for the 3rd out of the inning. And we will be right back here in a couple minutes as we move into the bottom of the second. Suns lead the Hellhounds 3-0.
Here we are back, and we have Mark, who's catching for the Suns, leading off.
We'll see if Trondheim can have a bit of a more efficient inning here. Pitch misses low for ball one.
I think we'll see the next pitch will be probably a curveball. Mark fouling off. Count is now 2-1.
I think what Alec wanted to do there was, after falling behind 2 balls and no strikes, he essentially wanted to challenge Mark to hit it. Good pitch there. Run the count even to 2 balls and 2 strikes. But oftentimes pitchers are thinking from a perspective of, how do I throw the least amount of pitches possible?
Mark is doing a good job protecting there.
That he is. That ball is striped to right field for a nice base hit single for Mark Cherenkov. It was a really good swing there from Mark.
Yeah. Managed to stay back and just drive the ball to right field.
Yeah, good fundamental hitting there. Then Mark will come out, and a courtesy runner will be used in his place. So since Mark is playing the position of catcher, our rules allow for a different player to be used as a base runner for him, both from a sense of saving time, so Mark can get back and put on the catcher's gear, and from a sense of preserving some of his energy. Catching is not an easy job, is it, Henrik?
No, it's you have to do a lot of hard work, and you don't have much time to get rest between things if you're the last out or up to hit. So it's, as you say, we need to save time.
Good pitch there from Alec. If Alec can get that breaking ball consistently in the strike zone, that's going to be tough to deal with. Little defensive miscue there from Trondheim as the ball actually goes between the legs of the third baseman. So Kristiansand is set up for business again here in the second inning with 2 on and nobody out.
Good potential for double play.
Good part of the batting order coming up for Kristiansand, though. Ball shot into the left center gap, and it gets by the outfielders. 1 run will score. Here comes Conrad around third, and he will score without a throw. Fantastic opposite field double for Andrew Keel. Helps out his own cause there, increasing the lead to 5-0 for the Suns. He will also be lifted for a courtesy runner. I believe that's the same courtesy runner that was used for Mark, so
Yeah, I believe it is.
no rest for the wicked. Good take by Javier Alvarez there as the breaking ball misses down.
Good pitch there. It's a strike in.
Counts 1-1 here. Alvarez is quite the dangerous hitter. He has the potential to run one out of the ballpark basically every time that he steps up to the plate. There's a balk by Alec. As a result, the base runner will advance from second base to third base. Henrik, balks can be quite a confusing aspect of the game of baseball. So basically, anytime the pitcher does something that is out of the ordinary, as in, turns their shoulders after a certain point in their mechanics, or if they don't stop when they come set, the umpires will call a balk, and the base runners will advance to the next base. Ground ball to short. Nice play by Bendik Johansson to throw out Alvarez. As a result, another run scores for Kristiansand, and that runs the lead now to 6-0. Looks like Alvarez may be shaken up a little bit as a result of that play. But seems to be walking off. Well, that was a very athletic hop over the fence, so hopefully he'll be okay.
Seems like it. But back to box, Alex. As a pitcher, you know quite a lot about it.
I do. I've been lucky to have quite a lot of experience pitching. Obviously, my goal is to never balk. Ground ball to shortstop. A really good pick on the short hop throw by Martin Allison. Very nice play there by Allison at first base for the second out of the inning.
Yeah, that ball had a weird bounce to it.
It did. But that was very impressive hand-eye coordination by the Trondheim first baseman there.
Foul off.
Looks like Ben Davis was hunting for a fastball there. He was quite early. But yeah, on the topic of balks, the best thing you can do to combat that issue is, try to be as mechanically and fundamentally sound as you can be.
Good take from Ben Davis there.
Nice fastball there from Alec to go ahead in the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes. It's odd because it looks like Davis is on that pitch, and then is just swinging through it. He did not swing through that one as he hits a hard ground ball to third base that gets by the third baseman into left field.
Trondheim managed to keep the runner at first.
Brings Jonathan Whistler to the plate. Nice little pickoff move there from Alec, trying to keep that base runner close. Pitch is fouled off, out of play. I think that Ben Davis over at first base will get a little restless here and try to steal second here in the next pitch or two. Another pickoff attempt. It was well late.
And Ben Davis here takes a long stride for away from first base. Another foul ball.
For those of you watching on the broadcast right now, trust me when I say the field here in Kristiansand is every bit as beautiful as it appears to you on the screen. Good fastball there as Whistler's able to fight it off to stay alive.
But
So
back to Dønnestad Arena, it's really one of the best fields we have in Norway.
I would say it is the best baseball facility that we have in the entire country.
Yeah.
There's a lot of time and effort is put in by the resource people here in Kristiansand, and it's fantastic to see that their hard work is paying off.
Yeah, he's done a great job.
Another balk there by Trondheim. Overhearing the umpire's explanation there, it's once a pitcher comes set in his motion, which is that pause right before they deliver the pitch, you cannot flinch or move that shoulder in any way. Nice breaking ball there from Alec to get out of the inning. It seems that the balk calls are quite frustrating to him.
Yeah. We'll probably get an explanation now.
Well, that will take us into the top of the third inning. Kristiansand was able to add on another 3 runs, which pushes the lead to 6-0, and we will be back in a couple minutes. We're back here in the top of the third inning. For those of you just tuning in, my name is Alex Guilford. I'm here with Henrik Andersen. We have the top of the lineup back up for the Hellhounds.
Good take there from Håkon.
A very disciplined hitter, Håkon. Can be rather frustrating for a pitcher sometimes. Good swing there on that pitch. Runs the count to 1-1.
Good off-speed pitch from Kuhl there.
Yeah. So what Keel will do is he'll utilize 2 different types of a curveball. He'll have one that moves more side to side and one that moves more up and down. And if he's able to locate both of those effectively, it makes for a really, really difficult day for hitters. That's a really good fastball in there
Yeah.
for strike 3.
Good job with changing up the speeds on the pitches as well.
I think right there, Håkon was looking for one of those curveballs, but instead got a really good fastball, and it kind of locked him up a little bit.
Yeah.
That brings up Ben Atkins, who is recently relocated to Trondheim from Oslo. I believe that Ben Atkins is playing today's game with a fractured rib in an injury that he sustained a couple weeks ago during a regular season game.
Oh, that's tough.
Wow, that's a good pitch there that seems to miss high. It doesn't look like pitchers today are getting the benefit of the doubt on the high fastballs.
No.
Good swing there, fouled straight back to the backstop. Umpire's going to take a second to inspect that baseball, as the backstop here in Kristiansand is made of solid concrete. So if the ball hits that surface and is scratched up or damaged in any way, then we need to throw that baseball out and get a new one. But sometimes pitchers will want damaged baseballs because it will add potential movement to their pitches. So they're always a little disappointed when an umpire does a good job of checking.
Long foul there.
Good little battle here. 2 balls and 2 strikes. We'll see who can come out on top. Oh, good close pitch there from Keel. Runs the count to 3 balls and 2 strikes. Really good take there from Ben Atkins. Ball shot down the right field line. Nice solid base hit for Ben Atkins there. Really good at bat from Atkins there, Henrik.
Yeah.
You can tell that he's played baseball at a high level at some point in his life. I'm not quite sure exactly what his story is, but he's really gifted skill-wise.
That was a really good swing on a 3-2 count. Nice fastball in there from Kuhl.
I think with that rib injury, I would highly doubt that Atkins will try to steal second base here. Fly ball to center field is handled by Charles Conrad for the second out of the inning. Conrad is, could be argued that Conrad is playing out of position a little bit today, but I think when you're talking about a player that's as good as Charles Conrad, any position on the field, he'll do a good job at, wouldn't you say, Henrik?
Yeah, I believe that he played center field in Sweden as well when he played for the national team.
Yeah, and for those of you who are unaware, our national baseball team participated in the Nordic Championships this past weekend in Helsinki and secured a second place finish after defeating Finland and falling short against the Swedish team.
Good breaking ball from Kuhl there.
So we have, in this game going on right now, we have several national team players from both teams. As mentioned, Charles Conrad is a member of the national team. Also Benjamin Davis for the Suns, as well as Jonathan Whistler. And for Trondheim, we have Bendik Johansson, Martin Allison, Torgeir Osvik, and I believe that's it, isn't it, Henrik?
Yeah.
Or Håkon Nordli as well.
Håkon Nordli. And with the young guys like Ben Davis, Håkon Nordli has also taken a huge step. I think in the last years.
Good fastball there from Keel to end the inning. Continues to shut out the Hellhounds as we move into the bottom of the third. Suns still lead 6-0. Back here in the bottom of the third inning, Magnus Johnson steps to the plate for the Kristiansand Suns. Good pitch there down at the bottom of the strike zone to jump ahead 0-1. As somebody who's pitched against Magnus, the strike zone, shall we say, is not very large.
No.
So it can be a little difficult to filter some pitches in there. Alex seems to be doing a good job of that so far.
Yeah.
First three pitches are right in the strike zone, and as Magnus fouls that one off to stay alive.
Good take from Magnus there.
I'm not sure what pitch that was. It looked like some sort of breaking ball, but Magnus does a good job of leaving it low. Runs the count to 1 ball and 2 strikes. Just misses outside. Really good take there by Magnus.
Yeah. As we're getting closer and closer to the mercy rule, could you tell us something about that, Alex?
So the mercy rule is essentially a shortening of the game. To be honest, I don't really like the term mercy rule. It can be really good at bat there from Magnus after falling down 0-2 to draw the walk. But essentially when a team gets ahead by a certain number of runs, the game will end earlier than originally planned. So the rules will differ around Europe and around the baseball community, but here in Norway, we have it set to where if one team is winning by 10 or more runs after the 5th inning, the game is over. I believe the first game of the day ended in that fashion. So that could mean the game could end in the 5th inning or it could end in the 7th inning, but it will end before. Really good play there by Nicole Fett to get Neftali Gonzalez on the ground out. That ball wasn't hit very hard, so it sometimes in that situation the ball is moving so slow, but the runner is still running at the same speed, so it can be very difficult for the defense to record an out on that play.
And a really good reset after making 2 errors earlier in the game.
Yeah, absolutely. Brings Mark Cherenkov to the plate. Mark had a really nice single in his last at-bat, and he just did the same exact thing again. Fantastic base hit to right field. Oh, Magnus. Wow. Magnus Johnson catches the defense sleeping a little bit there and adding in a bit of acrobatics at the plate, manages to score.
You can see it on the replay here. Avoids the tag, slides in.
Great call by home plate umpire Tony Jones. Was in perfect position to make that call.
Charles Conrad stepping up.
Flips the lineup over for the Suns. And they don't want anything to do with Charles Conrad there. They intentionally walk him to put him on first base. I think trying to go into the mind of Trondheim in that situation, the obvious thing that stands out to me is that they want to get into a position where the double play is in effect and they can get out of this inning by getting 2 outs in 1 play. Good breaking ball there from Alec.
Getting ahead at the start here.
Fastball misses just high. Runs the count even to 1 ball and 1 strike.
Just misses high again.
Breaking ball misses low to run the count to 3-1. See, the obvious downside to intentionally walking Charles is you're kind of putting all of your money on being able to get the next hitter out. And it does not appear that that's going to be the case as Andrew Keel takes ball 4 to load the bases for Javier Alvarez. Oftentimes this is not a situation that you want to be in with the bases loaded and your number 3 hitter or the opponent's number 3 hitter up to bat.
I can see the Trondheim players wanted out at third. The coach stays quite close, and first baseman is on the grass almost.
Seems that Alec is having a bit of trouble finding the strike zone here. The base is full of Suns. There's no place to put him. It's a good pitch there to get back into it. Looks like Alvarez is in a little bit of pain here. I'm not sure if he tweaked something on in his last at bat, but that swing did not seem comfortable. Ground ball to third base. And the runner beats the throw. It was a bit unorthodox because normally you would expect a base runner to slide into home plate on a play like that. And looking at the replay there, it looks like he barely touches the front edge of the plate. Just barely with his toe. You know, it also looks like the Trondheim catcher there may have been blocking the plate a little bit.
Yeah,
so the base runner didn't have much of home plate to step on, actually.
Good breaking ball from Alec there. Pops it up and the ball is foul.
So David Beal, the hitter at the plate now, is a bit of a new face to Norwegian baseball. If I understand correctly, he is an American football player for the team here in Kristiansand, the Gladiators. In my limited interactions with David, he seems like a really, really good dude. So we're excited to have him part of this community.
Be exciting to see what he can do now with bases loaded.
That pitch sails inside and hits David Beal, which will force in another run for Kristiansand as the lead balloons now to 9-0. Bring Ben Davis to the plate here. And that pitch hits Davis right in the back. Forces in yet another run as the lead increases to 10-0. So, Henrik, you were talking about the mercy rule earlier. Now it seems like that is something that's in play here. However, at this point in the game, we have not played enough innings yet for that to be a factor.
Yes, we are a couple innings behind, and the Sunset looks really good right now, and they're in a good position here.
And another hit by pitch. 3 in a row. I'm not sure if I've seen how many times I've seen 3 batters in a row get hit, but it looks like Alec, pitcher for Trondheim, may be in a little distress here. So there's a conference on the mound here, and we'll see if they end up making a change.
They might be putting in their shortstop to pitch, since he have pitched earlier for them.
I don't know, Henrik, looking at some of the mannerisms from Alec after that last hit by pitch, it would be cause for a little concern, in my opinion. So at minimum, hopefully they're going out there and checking on him to make sure he's okay.
Yeah. As a pitcher, you're having a lot of stress on your arm. How is it to have like a bad day on the mound, or trying to work yourself back in a position like this?
Well, first off, I'll tell you, it's not very fun. You know, as with anything, there are going to be good days and there's going to be bad days. You know, sometimes you go out there and everything is going correctly for you, everything's going perfectly, and you know, those are the days where it's really enjoyable to be a pitcher. You know, all of your pitches are working, they're moving a lot. You know, you're not in any physical pain. And other days, you know, it's not so great. You know, you don't necessarily know where the ball's going to go. And oftentimes you have to try to find a way to battle through things, which is arguably more a mental thing than it is a physical thing in some cases. But, you know, every now and then there's just a day where you don't have it. And those days can be disappointing days, but I know Alec quite well, and I know that, you know, what may be a disappointing day for him today isn't going to affect him long term. He's able to shake it off and move on to the next outing, because as team leader, he's not able to dwell on individual performances. But as a result, we have another pitching change from Trondheim. We have Bendik Johansen on the mound, and we will be right back in a few minutes.
we have Bendik Johansen on the mound now. We'll have a bit of a different matchup here, since he's a lefty with a sidearm. Starts really well with the first pitch strike.
Yeah, that lower release point for Bendik here has to make Magnus feel quite uncomfortable. So there are not very many left-handed pitchers here in Norway, and of the few left-handed pitchers that we do have, I would say that Bendik has the most peculiar motion, shall we say, as that pitch sails behind Magnus Johnson, which will no doubt add to his comfort level standing in the batter's box.
It's a very difficult field regarding pass balls here because of the concrete in the backstop here.
Yeah, as Henrik's saying, any pitch that gets by the catcher and hits that concrete is going to bounce right back to the catcher, so it's really difficult to advance home from third base as a result. Good take there by Magnus to run the count to 3 balls and 2 strikes. Nice hit there from Magnus, but an even better defensive play by the new shortstop for Trondheim, Torgeir Osvik, who fielded it way in the hole and decided to take the easy out at third base for a fielder's choice. As a result, though, Magnus Johnson will be credited with an RBI, as the lead is now 12-0 to the Suns. So along with the pitching change for Bendik being on the mound now, we also have several defensive rearrangements and an additional substitute. As mentioned, Torgeir Osvik is now playing shortstop. We also have a new third baseman, who's Matisse Fukuchi. As that ball gets past the catcher, allowing the base runners to advance to the next base.
And removing the force is a clear advantage for the Suns.
Absolutely. As a result now, odds are that Trondheim will have to get the runner out at first base. Good pitch there to get back into the count here. Count is now 3 balls and 1 strike to Neftali Gonzalez.
Suns load the bases on a walk to first.
Rather interesting statistic here, Henrik. The Suns have scored 12 runs so far in this game. Why don't you take a guess on how many hits they've had? How many base hits?
It's have been quite a lot of walks today, so I would guess like 5 or 6 today.
It's a pretty good guess. They currently have 4, as that pitch is hit to shortstop, and the low throw cannot be handled by the first baseman. And as a result, another run will score, and that play will be scored as a throwing error on the shortstop.
Mark has been doing a great job today. I believe he's 3 for 3.
Well, unfortunately for Mark, that last one will be scored as an error. So from a statistical standpoint, he will be 2 for 3. But he's done a really good job of forcing the defense to make a play.
Good off-speed pitch from Bendik there.
Suns could really put this game out of reach with a clutch base hit from Conrad here.
Good job by the catcher holding the ball in front of him.
We also have a new right fielder in the game now. Wilfredo Jimenez will replace Alec Vermers in the lineup. Count runs to 2 balls and 1 strike now. throw back to third to try to catch the base runner sleeping is unsuccessful. Charles Conrad is now in a really good hitter's count. Let's see if he gets a pitch that he can drive here. He takes a really close pitch for ball 4, which will drive in another run for the Suns as the lead increases to 14-0. So you mentioned there being a lot of walks in this game a second ago, Henrik.
Yeah.
With that walk, the total now is 9 walks in not even. We're in the 3rd inning, and there's been 9 walks already. So, I mean, you know, you could have 40 defenders out in the field, but the one thing that you can't defend is a walk.
Yeah, that's on one man alone. So they really need to adjust to try to find the zone.
Counts now 3-0, at risk of forcing in another run here. And that pitch is not close for ball 4. So, I mean, a common theme that we see in baseball, Henrik, is that oftentimes pitching and defense is really, really important, because if you struggle to throw the ball in the strike zone and you struggle to field the ball cleanly and make routine plays, you're going to have a hard time winning baseball games. And I think we're seeing that on full display right now.
Yeah, and as we have played in Europe and the national team who played in Serbia last year, you could tell that fielding errors are punishing pitchers a lot.
Well, what tends to happen is if you have a lot of walks, your defense isn't really doing much. So in order for a defense to stay active and stay engaged and be ready for the ball to be hit to them, they need action. And you're not going to get any action from a walk, unfortunately. So that ball's hit to shortstop, and a really nice pick on a short hop throw by another pick by Martin Allison to finally get Trondheim out of the inning. The Suns, Kristiansand was able to take full control of this game with 9 runs in the bottom of the 3rd. As a result, we move to the top of the 4th inning, and Kristiansand currently leads 15-0.
We have Martin stepping up now. Kuhl is back on the mound. Nice first pitch on a fastball. Martin is really trying to pull that ball.
I believe Martin was trying to hit that ball as far as he possibly could. Good take there. Also a good pitch by Andrew Keel there. You know, sometimes you want to use people's aggressiveness against them.
Another good pitch from Kirill. Nice hack there from Martin, staying alive. Nice hit from Martin. Straight to Charles at center field. Throws it into second base. Good single there to start inning.
Yeah, really good swing there from Martin. Maybe that'll light a fire, no pun intended, in the Hellhounds. Bring Wilfredo Jimenez to the plate.
First AB for the game.
Another big swing.
Kuhl in a really good count here. 0-2. Good take there. A good pitch.
I think that second pitch there, that breaking ball, was the perfect example of, like we said, using somebody's aggressiveness against them. So you throw that breaking ball, it starts right in the strike zone and then just tumbles out of it.
Fouling on 1-2 count there. Strikeout there, and Martin steals from first to second.
Yeah, Martin got a really, really good jump on that. He was actually running to second base before Keel was able to deliver the ball to the plate. So poor Mark did not have a chance whatsoever to throw him out at second base.
Oh, Nichols steps in, hits the ball, goes through.
Good base hit. I'm not quite sure why Martin did not advance to third base on that play. I know that he had to freeze and make sure that ball was not caught in the air, but at least from our vantage point, it looked like he had plenty of time to advance to third. We'll see if that ends up making a difference in the inning.
Yeah. We have Paruto for Hellhounds now, stepping up. See if he can do some damage.
Fastball misses just low there.
Good spot to miss.
Count runs to 3-0 now. We'll see if Paruto has the green light here or if he's going to take a strike. Unfortunately, I don't think there is such thing as a 15-run home run, so none of that matters anyways, as Paruto takes ball 4, which will load the bases with 1 out. And Torgeir Osvik steps to the plate, hoping to get Trondheim on the board here.
Good position here. See if can that get that ball from through the infield. Takes a pitch high.
Keel has been he's been in control all game long, but seems that he's having a little difficulty finding the strike zone here. Good pitch there to get back into it.
A 1-1 count here.
We have a break in the action here as someone's thrown an American football onto the field. Very nice spiral from Raymond Muir, getting the ball off the field. Would have been really embarrassing if he threw it into the fence and had to go get it again. We're back in action here. Another good pitch at the top of the strike zone.
That's a really tough pitch to hit.
Well, at least in the course of today's game, it doesn't seem that that pitch has been being called a strike. So it makes sense that Osvik would take that pitch. Counts even at 2-2 here. Pitch is fouled off there to stay alive. Andrew Keel's really done a good job managing his pitch count. Here in the fourth inning, he's at 68 pitches, which is very manageable for this part of the game. Weak ground ball gets past Keel. And that'll be an infield single for Torgeir Osvik as Trondheim is able to push across their first run of the game. That ball was not hit hard at all, Henrik, but just managed to squeak it by the pitcher. Very admirable effort from Keel on that, but just a perfectly placed, almost like he hit it with his putter.
Almost. It's a difficult place on the slow rollers.
Yeah, and he's a pretty good runner, Osvik is, so they had no chance to get him at first base. That'll bring the top of the lineup up for Trondheim, so we'll see if they can continue the momentum here. Misses up high for ball 2. Same spot there. Count runs to 3-0 here. Trondheim is desperate to put up a crooked number on the scoreboard this inning.
We might have a late comeback here.
Misses high for ball 4. Score now stands Kristiansand 15, Trondheim 2.
Ben Atkins up to bat. Good stop from Mark.
See if Keel can find the strike zone again here.
Really needs to reset and get back in the zone.
Ooh. Pitch looked pretty good, but appears to have missed high. Ball 3.
In a position like this, Alex, we're struggling to find the zone with the fastballs. Is it sometimes to get a good idea to throw in a curve to mix up the pitches?
It can be. That pitch is in there for strike 1. It can be. It all depends on how well you're able to locate your other pitches.
Swings on a high fastball.
Runs count to 3 balls and 2 strikes. Let's see if Kiel can come all the way back here and get a crucial out. And that misses high as yet another run comes across for Trondheim. And that last walk will prompt a visit from Coach Andy Johnson, taking a nice slow stroll to the mound.
I believe this is the Suns' first mound visit today.
That is correct. If I had to try to dive into the mind of Andy right now, my guess is that the main objective of this conversation is to break up the rhythm of what's been going on. Sometimes you just need to press that reset button or kind of throw a cog in the system, because the game of baseball can speed up for you every now and then. So a well-timed mound visit has the potential to be really, really beneficial.
We have Bendik Johansen stepping up to the plate. Good pitch there. Not called a strike.
Looks like it was just low.
That's a good pitch. Fastball. Bases loaded on a 1-1 count.
Another good pitch there from Kiel.
Seems like the mound visit was really worth it right now.
Ball hit to the second baseman, who will just go to first to get the out. Good job by Kiel there to force contact and get an out there. I think he will absolutely take the trade-off of another run scoring in place of getting that second out. Score now stands 15-4, but the Suns are not out of trouble yet.
Good.
And that pitch has caught the home plate umpire. Looks like he is in a little bit of pain here. So as a result of one of our umpires being feeling a little under the weather, Tony Jones is working his second game of the day behind the plate. And in the first game of the day, he took a similar pitch to the leg, which did not seem very enjoyable. So it looks like he's ready to go get back into action here. But no matter how much equipment you wear, there are still weak spots, apparently.
Yes, indeed. Good pitch from Kuhl there.
Breaking ball misses just high. Runs the count to 2 balls and 1 strike. Kiel has really seen his pitch count balloon in this inning to 86 pitches, 87 on the way.
Ball gets through.
That ball gets down the third baseline. 2 runs will score as Matisse Fukuchi advances to second base on the throw. Don't look now, but we could have a bit of a ball game on our hands here. Score's now 15-6. Trondheim desperately needed to get on the board, and they've done so in a major way here in the top of the fourth.
Good job, but Mathis. Martin steps up. Fastball high. Just misses there.
Good hitter's count for Martin here. Fastball seems to jam him a little bit. David Beal will step on the bag to record the much anticipated third out for the Suns. Well, before the inning, we were looking at a 15-0 game, and we are most definitely looking at a bit of a different scenario here as we head into the top of the bottom of the fourth. Suns still lead, but Trondheim's able to scratch across 6 runs to trim the lead to 9. We'll be back in a few minutes with the bottom of the fourth inning. So we are back here in the bottom of the fourth inning, and I am joined by NSBF President Marta Mirer. Marta, great to have you join us.
It's great to be here, Alex, and thank you for commentating. I know most people can't see it, but Alex here is both commentating and scorekeeping at the same time. That would be too much for a lot of us to do.
I'm a man of the people, Marta. But you recently took over as president of NSBF. Can you give those tuning in a little bit of insight as to what the job has been like so far, and what is it that is you're prioritizing as far as what you want to accomplish with the federation?
Well, that's a question there's a lot of different answers to. But yeah, I have been involved in softball so far until now, and I loved seeing softball grow, and I think there's a lot of stuff we can do with us not coming from a background with baseball. Softball activity for me was a totally new sport until 5 years ago, and I believe if we just let people know we exist, there's so much we can offer, and there are so many opportunities. I don't think people know how much fun this sport really is. And I mean, we all grew up with dødball, slåball, stickball, brentball, but we don't think we know baseball. Everybody seems to ask what baseball, softball really is, and I think if we can just be more visible, I think there's potential for us to grow very much. And I mean, we are they don't really give us a baseball stadium in the middle of Oslo. It would be nice. They look great, so they should. But as long as they don't, we are kind of hidden outside on the countryside, or as in Oslo, we are at Rommen. Uh, it's not very many people who can see us. So now what you have done, like with Vålerenga, starting a new team there, trying to have the kids' activities at Vallehoven, where we actually have people walking by, seeing that we do exist. I think that is great. So good job with that. And I hope that we can do the same with softball, because softball is something, I mean, anybody could start doing. And if we get dødball going for the kids, I think, I mean, the potential is, yeah.
Yeah, you guys have done a really good job with softball. As softball only started, we're in what, year 3 of softball, or just completed year 3?
4.
Year
I think,
4.
yeah.
And it's grown exponentially, and I think you've hit the nail on the head, because as people who have been involved in the federation, we've been told time and time again, and it's very, very frustrating when somebody says, "Oh, I didn't know we had baseball here," or "I didn't know softball existed here." So you're exactly right that awareness and visibility is something that is of the utmost importance for us. But pivoting back, you mentioned dødball. That is something that the Federation is looking to make a push into?
Yeah, we will definitely try. We want. Oh, let's see here.
Good pitch there from Bendik Johansson, jumping back to game action here. However, since the ball got away from the catcher, Jonathan Whistler was able to run to first base, and he was able to make it safely. We now have runner on first with 2 outs, and Magnus Johnson steps to the plate. But back to dødball.
Yeah. Well, dødball is really a sport for everybody. I think everybody loved dødball back in the days when I was young. We all played dødball, and I think that is still something that's going on at schools, but it's not organized in any. As far as we know, it's not organized anywhere. And I think if we could just help people to do so, if school wants to have tournaments, if they want to compete against other schools, if we could get, it's a sport for everybody. If you don't really like football, handball, basketball, activities that kind of everybody does, then dødball is a great sport. It's for everybody, and
it's low threshold.
It's low threshold, and you don't need a big field to do so. You can do it in the schoolyard. You can do it in almost anywhere. You can do it on the grass or wherever. And you don't need a lot of equipment. It's easy. And I mean, if anybody wants to start something, if anybody wants to do so, they should really reach out to us, because we could, I mean, however we can help, we would. If you wanna, if anybody wants to have a, neighborhood tournament or a school tournament or whatever, if we could help with equipment or jerseys or make this into a fun day, we really want to try to do so. And I also think it's a great sport. It's something you can do, parents and kids, you can do it. I mean, you could be at any level. And we could almost, I mean, the rules could be, we could do whatever rules we want to.
Yeah,
really.
Precisely, because as somebody coming from the U.S., I don't have a particular Magnus Johnson is picked off at first base on a fantastic throw by Zani Peruta. However, it looks that Magnus Johnson is down on the play. I believe he might have taken a glove to the face, but we will be right back in a few minutes. wrap up before the inning
Yeah.
starts. We're back here with Marta Müller. An update on Magnus Johnson, that he walked off the field under his own power, so fingers crossed that everything's okay with him. But before we head into the top of the fifth inning, Marta, just to wrap up what we were discussing about dub ball and baseball and softball, everything in one kind of grouping. You mentioned having people reach out to us. I mean, who are we looking for? I mean, and what would be the best way for them to get in touch with us?
Well, who we are looking for us, I think we are looking for anybody who finds any of our sports interesting in general. Like with Magnus. How old is Magnus?
I believe Magnus is 13 years old.
13, and our oldest player is 60.
60 something. We'll say 60 something.
Yeah. So we have activity for all age groups and all levels. And if you find this interesting, just reach out on our Facebook or Instagram. We also have a federation page, softbaseball.no. So find us, reach out to us, comment here, and yeah, we'll definitely get back to you if you have any questions or are curious about how to try this out.
Wonderful. Well, Marta, thank you so much for hopping on with us for a little bit. And if you're watching, listen to what Marta said. Reach out to us if you're at all interested in contributing in any way. But again, thanks so much.
Thank you, Alex.
We're back to game action here. Wilfredo Jimenez draws a leadoff walk. We are in the top of the fifth inning. Kristiansand currently leads 15-6. Henrik Andersen is back with us, and we'll see if Trondheim can continue the momentum that they generated last inning and put up another crooked number on the scoreboard.
Yes, we'll see if they can manage to put up something right now. Nicole takes a good fastball low. Kuhl's really aggressive here on Nicole after that walk.
I believe Kiel may be receiving instructions from the dugout to really be aggressive, as his pitch count is now up near 100 pitches.
Fouls off. Count is now 1-2. 0-2, I mean.
Great pitch there from Kiel for called strike 3. Big out there for the first out of the inning. In that at bat, he seemed really dependent on his fastball. He's Kiel's a pitcher who will throw a lot of curveballs during a game, but there it was 4 straight fastballs, I believe.
Looks like it.
Another good fastball that's fouled back to the net as Kiel jumps ahead 0-1.
Doesn't seem like the Trondheim guys are not looking for a steal here. He's standing real close to the bag.
That ball's popped up and out of play. Close to our technical tent over here. Kiel's ahead now 0-2. We'll see if he reaches into the bag for that breaking ball here to get a quick second out. And there's a breaking ball that is shot into the right center gap, and the base runners will move station to station. Nice base hit there from Zani Baruta.
Torgeir Osvik steps up on a runner on first and second with 1 out.
The ball shot down the right field line, and it's going to drop. However, the runner on second base was not really running, so he will not be able to score on that play, and the bases are now loaded after the base hit from Torgeir Osvik.
And we are at top of the lineup with Håkon Nordli steps up.
Trondheim is back in prime position here to put a couple more runs on the board. That ball's popped up on the infield, and it is a foul ball. Great defensive effort there from Andrew Keel.
He really
Diving attempt.
He really wanted that out.
New life for Håkon Nordli. Good pitch there, swing and a miss. Count moves to 0-2.
Håkon Nordli has to protect now. Good take there on a good pitch low.
Yeah, really good 0-2 pitch there from Keel. That's a pitch that, you know, he doesn't want to necessarily be hittable, but wants to look appetizing enough for the hitter to swing at. So good, very good job on both sides there. Oh, just misses high.
Seems like he really wanted that call.
Ball's fouled back. Good battle brewing here. It's 2-2 here. Keel wanted to double check that with the home plate umpire, Tony Jones. And here we go. Breaking ball misses down as the count runs full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Looks like we have some action for Kristiansand as another player is warming up. The ball is hit to shortstop, and
no play.
The defense cannot make a play on it as that ball really slowed down in the infield grass. Trondheim scores a run to cut the lead to 8. Yeah, Magnus Johnson is the new shortstop now. He didn't really have a chance on that play.
Ben Atkins steps up. All the bases loaded.
Ball misses high. Trondheim is threatening again here in the top of the 5th. That pitch misses for ball 2. And if you're Trondheim, you gotta like the hitters that you have coming to the plate in this situation here.
They're a really good position right now.
Ball 3. Have a delay of a loose baseball somewhere on the field. Our view is obstructed, but it's really the only possible explanation. Looks like we're ready to go here again. Ball 4.
Mark did like a really good job holding that pitch on the inside part.
I think we may be nearing a pitching change here for Kristiansand, as the pitch count for Andrew Keel now sits at 113 pitches.
Looks like Andy is putting himself on the mound.
Andy Johnson will take over on the mound for the Suns. As a result, Andrew Keel will move to second base. And since Andy Johnson was not in the original starting lineup, he will be replacing Neftali Gonzalez Jr. in the 8th hitting spot. While we have a break in the action, just to provide an update of today's previous events as well as the upcoming events for tomorrow. In our first semifinal of the day, Vålerenga Baseball defeated the Bergen Wet Sox 11-1 to clinch their spot in the final. While we await to see who the winner of this game is, the tentative schedule is for the bronze final to take place as the first game of the day tomorrow. The start time is set currently at 12 o'clock, although I believe there's a high likelihood of that start time being moved up. And then the final will be played after that, currently scheduled for 3 o'clock. But again, with a lot of teams traveling, we will likely move up the game times to account for that. Johnson's first pitch is in the zone, and it's fouled out of play for strike 1. Johnson comes set, and that pitch is hit in the air to right center field, where it is taken in by Raymond Müller. And Torgeir Osvik tags up on the play as a result for another run for Trondheim to bring the score to 15-9. To briefly explain what just happened there, when you have runners on base and a ball is hit into the air that the defensive player catches, as long as the base runner returns to the base or is standing on the base when that ball is caught, they may advance at their own risk to the next base. As that pitch is hit to shortstop and it is mishandled, and Håkon Nordli scores on the play to cut the lead to 5 runs.
They're really making a comeback here. Doing a great job in keeping the momentum going through the innings here.
We're looking at a drastically different game than we had 2 innings ago. Trondheim has scored 10 unanswered runs as that pitch is hit to first base, secured by David Beal, who steps on first base for the 3rd out. Trondheim puts up another 4 runs, but Andy Johnson comes in and is able to minimize the damage as we move to the bottom of the 5th. The score stands Kristiansand 15, Trondheim 10. We'll be right back in a few minutes.
Then we are back. Bendik is still on the mound, and we have Andy Johnson steps up to the plate for first time today. Takes a ball high. Looks like Bendik's missing outside. The count is 2-0. The ball is hit. Back. It's gone! Home run for Andy Johnson.
Nothing like helping out your own cause.
Good, well hit ball for Andy Johnson.
Really good swing there by Johnson.
Then
That
we
was
ha-
one where off the bat you had a feeling that it was leaving the ballpark.
Yeah. He knew as soon as he hit that ball. We have Mark. See if he can continue hitting well for Suns today. Looks like Bendik is struggling a little bit right now. Ball inside. Marks gets a walk. And Charles, top of the lineup, steps up.
The key here will be, how much pitching does Trondheim have left? Because they're already on their third pitcher of the game.
They also have a game tomorrow.
They do, but today's problems are today's problems, Henrik, I think.
Yes, indeed. Takes a pitch inside.
A pickoff to first base, and the runner's moving, and he will slide into second safely.
And I believe we have the same courtesy runner for the catcher as always.
He is certainly getting his steps in today. And Trondheim will intentionally walk Charles Conrad once again to set up a situation with runners on first and second base, nobody out, and Andrew Keel stepping to the plate. Another situation where a double play is desperately needed.
Good pitch from Bendik there.
Oh, and that pitch clips Andrew Keel right in the thigh. And he will take first base as a result, which will load the bases for Raymond Mirror, who will be taking his first at-bat of the game here in a big situation for Kristiansand. They desperately need to change the momentum that Trondheim has generated over the past 2 innings and are in a perfect position to do so.
Ball gets
Past the catcher, and Nicholas Chapman will score as a result. I believe it is perfectly evident that Nicholas Chapman plays American football because he was prepared to run through anybody who got in his way as he crossed the plate.
Seems like it. And the Suns have now taken away the possibility for a force play.
Ball's hit to shortstop, where it's taken in by Torgeir Osvik, who throws to first in time to get Raymond Murer. As a result, Charles Conrad comes home to score. Really good defensive play there from Torgeir.
Yeah, he had a short amount of time to get that play, but Martin does a good job.
That brings the score to 18-10 here. If the Suns manage to score 2 more runs this inning, the game will be over. We've got 1 out here, so Suns have a decent part of their lineup coming up, so I definitely would not say that a couple more runs are not out of the question here, especially with a runner on third base currently.
Good take there. It looked very good. Just misses. Let's see if it takes a pitch or have a green light here.
Good idea there from the catcher Peruta to try to catch the runner on third base napping.
Really good throw to third there.
I think that Trondheim is well aware of the winning run now being on first base, so they're looking for outs anywhere they can get them. Good pitch there by Bendik. Fastball tumbling into the strike zone to go ahead. No balls and 1 strike.
Misses outside. Count is 1-1.
I wouldn't be surprised if the base runner on first base tries to take second and stay out of the double play here. But judging by his movements over there, it doesn't look like he's going anywhere.
No.
I'm being told he's an offensive lineman, so in my experience, offensive linemen do not like to run very much.
Ben hits the ball in the gap all the way to the fence.
And here comes the winning run across the plate. Benjamin Davis delivers the game-winning double.
Ball game. I believe that is ball game.
And that will conclude the second semifinal. Final score, Kristiansand 20, Trondheim 10. It ended up being a bit more of an offensive shootout than it appeared to be at the start of the game.
That game changed a lot during the day here.
As a result, the Kristiansand Suns will now advance into tomorrow's championship game against Vålerenga Baseball. Trondheim will square off against the Bergen Wet Sox in the bronze final. We will keep you up to date as far as any potential changes in game time goes, but nice solid win for Kristiansand here. I know that they are itching to build off of their success at this year's NM tournament, where they were crowned co-champions with Vålerenga. So I would imagine that they're quite eager to finally answer the question of who is the better team this year. So should be a fun and exciting day of baseball tomorrow.
Yes, indeed.
Once again, this is Alex Guilford and Henrik Andersen signing off here at Titan Sport Arena here in sunny Kristiansand. Thank you so much for tuning in for today's games. We hope that you will join us again for tomorrow's action. Until then, be well and hope to see you soon.